We are back. The high school football season returns, opening night, and we're proud to bring it to you right here on GVTC, Channel 16. The local land's also streaming on the Rangers Network over on YouTube. Hector Ledesma, Brian Hill alongside for Roosevelt and Smithson Valley as we open 2024. The last time the Rangers saw the field, they were playing for a state championship. Roosevelt looking to get back to its playoff ways of years past, and so a fantastic matchup on this opening Thursday night as we welcome you live into Complementary Stadium for Smithson Valley and Roosevelt, 5A, 6A, in a matchup that features two teams that have proud traditions. And as we welcome you inside Complementary Stadium right here off of 281 in Tacoma, beautiful San Antonio Thursday night. The weather could not be better, relatively speaking. I know a lot of you are pretty hot out there, but relatively speaking, couldn't ask for better conditions as we bring in Brian Hill as Smithson Valley takes the field for the opening kickoff. Roosevelt will kick things off with the Rangers set to receive. Brian, your thoughts on a matchup that should be a lot of fun tonight?
Yeah, I think first game of the season, most important thing is who makes the least amount of mistakes. Everybody's excited, everybody's nervous. Those guys that have never started before, maybe a little bit jittery. So who can make the least amount of mistakes is usually who wins the opening game. And
we are underway. End over end is that opening kickoff. Fielded right around the 5, across the 20. What a good return for the Rangers to start. Across the 35, still on his feet, right near the 40. And so a fantastic return for Brody Day, a good Ranger receiver. They expect big things from him this season. And already, if this is a preview of things to come in 2024, a good start for Mr. Day.
Yeah, Smithson Valley always pride themselves on special teams. Had a good return there, and Rangers almost get it out to the 40-yard line, so they'll be starting with good field position.
Officially at the 39, that is where they begin the first drive of 2024. Behind center, Cade Spradling, familiar face for this Rangers lineup, though not necessarily at quarterback. He hands off to Brad Sowersby, who is a familiar face at his position. And Brad, a couple of yards across on 1st and 10, maybe, well, he did get past the 45, near the 50, right around the 46-yard line is what we'll call it. 2nd and a long 2, it looks like.
Outside zone play, something Sowersby's used to running, over a 1,000-yard rusher from last year. And as you mentioned, Spradling playing quarterback. Last year he was kind of a Swiss Army knife, playing linebacker, running back, everything. So this year he gets the nod at quarterback.
Brad mentioning Brad Sowersby. Brian, mentioning Brad Sowersby over 1,000 yards, 1187 to be exact. So there's a pass out in the flat. Nice little hop and a skip for Brody Day. And a Ranger first down on their second play from scrimmage.
A great play by Brody. Pretty well covered by Roosevelt. Had a guy there. Brody went ahead and hurdled him, and Ranger offense moving right along. Successful run play, and then always getting your freshly starting quarterback an easy throw early on. Get his rhythm going.
Yeah, Day, a senior in the slot. Smithson Valley now goes trips to the right, lone receiver to the left, as Spradling looks back toward the sideline, takes the snap, keeps up the middle. Another play of positive yardage. That Roosevelt defense, some trouble early on. Smithson Valley will do that to you with those different looks and the different way the Rangers can come at you. And already Smithson Valley at the Roosevelt 31.
Yeah, Smithson Valley that time spreading them out, getting in 3 wide receivers to the field and a single up top with Spradling, as mobile as he is, ex-running back, spreading those guys out, and then having quarterback run game is something that the Rangers are going to use all night long.
Yeah, Spradling also listed as a linebacker on that roster. Rose right here, lets it go. Another good pass, 2 for 2. That would complete near the 10. And another positive play for Smithson Valley. It's P.K. Miller, another senior receiver, as we take another look. And now 2 for 2, Brian, is this one a little bit tougher to complete than the first one. Rolling to his right, but Spradling still nice touch and the accuracy there too.
Yeah, good job of getting off his first option. Roosevelt does a good job covering the initial flat route, and then the backside drag comes in. Good throw by Spradling.
They can get another first down, can Smithson Valley. They're at the 11, so 1st and 10. Spradling shotgun. Sowersby, the handoff, got the corner. Did he get in?
They're going to say stepped out at the 1.
Well, the official sideline judge there, kind of mid-season form. Nice job of getting out of the way. He did fall, but only because there was so much momentum coming his way. But Sowersby almost getting in. They're going to the nose of the end zone. They're going to say it's at the 1 yard line. So first and goal. We mentioned that Smithson Valley could get a first down with the ball at the 11. They did just that. And so the Rangers threatening early, less than 2.5 minutes into this ball game. Sprattling shotgun. Sowersby in motion. Hands. It's Sowersby who gets the touch. I believe that's 26. So Sowersby not in motion. It's Sowersby who got the carry. And Brad Sowersby gives Smithson Valley a very quick 6-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a dream start, starting off the season, going down. Smithson Valley, they graduated all 5 offensive linemen from last year. And so brand new 5 guys up there, and you would have never known it. It was a very clean drive for the Rangers to open up the season.
Trent Amaya up for the extra point. It is true. And just like that, Brian Hill mentioned it, dream start. Could not ask for a better way to begin this ball game. Smithson Valley takes the opening kickoff, gets to right around the 30-yard line. 6 plays later, they're at the 1 before Sowersby punches it in. We talked about Brad coming off a fantastic year last season. 1,187, 1,187 yards on the ground, 18 touchdowns, Brian. So getting into the end zone, nothing new for Brad.
Yeah, he did it all last year before, unfortunately, getting hurt in that semifinal game. Wasn't able to play in the state championship game. Luckily, he was just a junior, and so he's going to come back this year even stronger for a senior season.
192 carries is how often he got the ball. Do the math. I'm lucky I have the sheet in front of me here, and I don't have to do the math. Averages out to 6.18 yards per carry every time he touched the ball from a rushing perspective. Had a long of 55 yards last year, and showing why he's such a big part of this Ranger offense as Smithson Valley takes 2 minutes, 13 seconds off the clock, goes 70-plus yards for a 7-0 lead with 9:47 still to go in the opening quarter. Amaya's kick fielded right around the 10, and not much more. As a matter of fact, going backward is Jamari Smothers, and Roosevelt with some tough real estate there in terms of where they're going to have to start their first possession of 2024.
Yeah, it was a great kick by the lefty kicker, Trent Amaya. Placed it right around the goal line, and good coverage by the Rangers getting down there and tackling inside the 10-yard line. So unlike Smithson Valley, who only had to go about 60, 61 yards with good field position on their opening kickoff, Roosevelt's pinned inside the 10 and is going to have to go 91 yards if they want to get in the end zone.
So the quarterback for the Rough Riders is number 5, Shai Markajani, a young man who first-year head coach for Roosevelt, Darnell Barnes, is very, very high on. He goes 6'6", 195. Hands on his first play, crossed the 10. Nice little spin move to stay in bounds and then knocked out of bounds. So a good play all in all for Roosevelt on their first carry of the game. It's Zaylen Davis Shears, a young man they use in a number of different ways. They use him at running back, use him out of the slot. He was primarily a back last year, but as you well know, Brian, in today's high school game, you line kids up close to the line of scrimmage, they can beat you in a number of different ways.
No doubt, and he was one that Coach Barnes spoke to us about earlier in the week about an explosive playmaker for him, and they're going to use him in a bunch of different ways.
So 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard gain. Markajani, he's a senior, lets it go, pass complete. Young man they'll look for often, Elijah Smith, good size at that receiver spot. Elijah, young man who comes in with 32 catches off of last season, 528 yards, scored 3 times. Also a threat in the kick return game. Elijah returning 2 kickoffs for touchdowns a season ago.
Yeah, and you mentioned it a couple plays ago about Coach Barnes talking highly of his quarterback, Shai Markajani, and it's easy to see why. 6'6", 200 pounds, saw him throwing during warm-ups. He throws a pretty ball.
3rd and 2 for Roosevelt. 2 good plays, but that Smithson Valley defense able to hold to just 8 yards, and they might get off the field here. What a fantastic play. Going to bring up 4th down. Read beautifully by the Rangers and nowhere to go, and credit Kyle Bierman with an outstanding play, and then the pursuit and able to finish it off with the tackle as well.
It's a good play by the corner. Number 8, Liam McGee, holding his outside leverage and not letting the receiver get the edge, which forced him to cut back, and then the Ranger pursuit, like you said, with Kyle Bierman chasing him down from the backside. Good play by the Ranger defense.
See, this is why analysts are so important. I saw the tackle. Coach Brian Hill saw why. The why and the how, not just the what. Punt, fielded, across the 40, now across midfield. And Smithson Valley, coach, going to start its second possession of the ball game with even better field position than they did in the opening drive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just complimentary football right there, you know. The kickoff, great job by the special teams, pinning them inside the 10-yard line. Defense gets a 3 and out, forces the punt, and now the Ranger offense back on the field in plus territory with, you know, less than 50 yards to go. Again, great start for Smithson Valley.
Ball officially at the Roosevelt 42 after the P.K. Miller punt return. So back on the field comes Cade Spradling in that Smithson Valley offense. Sowersby behind Spradling, as is so often the case. Gets to hand. Last time he touched it, scored. Dancing, gets to the outside. Give him a couple to bring up second and roughly 7 or 6 depending on the spot.
And that was a really, really good 3-yard run there. It was really good defense by Roosevelt. Had a bunch of guys there. Sowersby does a good job of making 1 or 2 miss just to get something out of it. But it was really well pursued by the Roosevelt defense.
Rough Rider defense. Quite a ask here in the early going, because Smithson Valley coming at him in a number of different ways, and then after that 3 and out, that D has to go right back on the field. Spradling keeps, gets to his left, open field, he might go. Cross the 10, knocked out of bounds, or is he knocked into the end zone? He's knocked in for 6. Touchdown Smithson Valley. It's 13-0, less than 5 minutes left than 5 minutes into the second quarter.
And that's another
first quarter, excuse me.
And that's an element that Spradling at quarterback gives you. Like we talked about it, I think they did in that first drive. Spread everybody out. That time they had trips to the field and got a bunch of Roosevelt guys out there to cover them, and then it's quarterback run game. You gain an extra blocker when your quarterback runs, and we saw that quite a bit from Spradling from the running back position last year, and looks like we're going to see a heavy dose of it this year from the quarterback spot.
Well, Trent Amaya, count him among the most busy guys here in the early going. That extra point good as well. We're going to see him on for another kickoff in just a minute. His second kickoff after he boots his second extra point through. And, well, Brian, it was a dream start. What beats a dream start when you now have 2 touchdowns inside of 5 minutes to start a ball game and to start a season, no less?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like we talked about, it's a great start for Smithson Valley. But you've seen flashes of Roosevelt doing some good things. But again, it's that first game of the season where you know sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, whether it be one missed assignment or, you know, a play in the special teams that sets you up in a bad position. But overall, I've been impressed with the way that Roosevelt is flying around, and they've done some good things. So I expect them to get back into this ball game and put together a pretty good drive here on offense.
Wanted to continue to get your thoughts here on Roosevelt, Coach. When your team gets hit by a couple haymakers like that right off the bat, how do you settle them down? What do you say to them?
Well, I think the first thing you say is, guys, we're not even halfway through the first quarter. It's a long game. You know, obviously Smithson Valley has been playing well, but there's a lot of things that we've done ourselves that we need to improve on. And if we just do what we do, then we're going to slowly get back in this ball game. And so I think that's just the mentality that you got to have is 1 play at a time. You're not going to score a 14-point touchdown in 1 play. You're going to have to treat it play by play and see if you can crawl your way back into it.
Eliza Schmidt, the kick return, big receiver, getting the ball past the 20-yard line, officially at the 23.
And you see number 18 out there, linebacker for Smithson Valley. That is the quarterback, Cade Spradling. He has played every single play of this game thus far. So he's getting his money's worth, and so now just scored a touchdown. Now he's playing well linebacker.
A rarity, even in today's high school game, quarterback starts at linebacker as well. Complete out to Elijah Smith. He's been busy early on in the Roosevelt side of things. Nice ball there by Mark Jani, his second completion. That first one went for a couple yards on that first drive. This one, though, Looks like they're still shy of the first down by maybe just a yard, though.
Yeah, and you can see the arm strength and what Coach Barnes is so excited about when we talked to him this week about the arm talent of Mark Ajani, and you can see that thing fly out of his hand. He can spin it, and so look for them to start taking some shots down the field with that arm strength.
So officially 2nd and 1. Chikori Carrillo in motion. Mark Ajani back to pass. That one overthrown. He was looking for Zaylin Davis-Shears, who got the touch on the first play from scrimmage for Roosevelt. Not able to connect there, so 3rd and 1 for the Rough Riders.
That was actually a very good decision by Mark Ajani. They ran a little speed out by their inside receiver, expecting the safety to have to come all the way down. Smithson Valley jumped into a cover 2, so the corner was sitting there ready to undercut it, and if he'd have made an accurate throw, it's probably an interception. So smart decision by him of just throwing it over the head and live to fight another day on 3rd and 1.
So at the 32 is where they've got that 1 yard to get another set of downs. They got it and more. Near the 40. Lewis with the carry. And with that, Roosevelt's first down of 2024.
You talked about it. What do you got to do to get back into the ball game? And I think it's just that. Let's start with our first down, get a little bit of rhythm, stay out there a while, get into the flow of the game. And that was a big 3rd down conversion there. And see if they can get some momentum going built off of that.
We're nearing the halfway mark of the first quarter, 6:25 and counting on the score clock here at Comalander Stadium. Roosevelt trying to get back in this thing, 14-0. The Rangers with 2 offensive touchdowns very early on in the season opener. Smith again on the outside, and again taken out of bounds after a nice catch.
This is a good drive going by Roosevelt. They've run the ball pretty well. Had some short passes that are just moving the ball down the field. And again, going back to the Coach Barnes conversation that we had with him earlier in the week, he talked about the big sophomore offensive lineman, Caden Scott, coming in at 6'7", 285, the left tackle. He's not hard to spot, even from up here in the press box. Had a few Power 5 offers. And he also mentioned this is the biggest O-line they've had in a while. And so we'll see if they can kind of start taking control of this game a little bit.
Colton Hornsby, the tackle for the Rangers on that previous play. Big hit, ball on the turf. Smithson Valley football to this hold. It's going to be Truth DeVos.
Should be an incomplete pass. He pitched it forward. Should just be like a screen that's an incompletion.
You see the officials here conferring as you take another look at the replay. Truth is saying, no.
Huh.
Keep as called. The Roosevelt defense is staying on the field, Coach.
Yeah, and you can see their coaches are not happy about it, and I don't blame them. That was a designed shovel pitch forward and I'm guessing the refs think that the quarterback just fumbled it or mishandled it. But to me, it looked like a designed forward pitch, which, as it's forward, it should be an incomplete pass. But nonetheless, Rangers take over inside plus territory again.
Ty Knutson, number 2 now at quarterback for Smithson Valley. He's going to let it go on his first play. Out to the flat, that's complete to Daniel De Hoyos. A couple of yards before he's brought down. A couple of Rough Rider defenders converging, Joshua Gray among them. Gray, a young man who comes in with off of an outstanding 2023 season, 37 tackles, 8 for loss last year for Joshua. That includes 3 sacks, forced a couple of fumbles, and also had 2 defensive touchdowns for Roosevelt last season.
Yeah, and it was well covered. It was kind of a trick play. Smithson Valley going for the home run after a turnover. Well covered, and sophomore quarterback did a good job of not throwing it into coverage and just checking it down to De Hoyos. So good job on both sides.
2nd and 4, Knutson out of shotgun. This time De Hoyos on the handoff. Near first down yardage. I don't think he got there, though.
It looks like come up just a little short, 3rd and 1. But you had mentioned it's a sophomore quarterback for Smithson Valley, Ty Knutson. Speaking of looking the part, he's looking really well, and he's in there just to give Spradling a breather. Spradling's fine, but he just got done playing two series of offense and 2 series of defense. So just giving him a little bit of breather. And Ty Knutson as a sophomore is very impressive as well.
Knutson keeps under pressure, lets it go complete. Past the 15, inside the 10. Nice job of creating some space. A big target is Preston Baker. Baker brought down it right around the 5. Now there is a flag on the play. It's our first marker. So far a well-played game. The first penalty marker of the game comes with 4:35 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think they're going to get the receiver, Brody Day, out there on the edge for holding. It's so tough when you're out there in space and not knowing where the runner is behind you, and the defender reacting and trying to get off a block and just holding on to him for just a count longer. But nonetheless, good play. It still should be a first down for the Rangers. It'll just be backed up 10 yards from the spot of the foul, but I think it's still enough for a first down. Yep, moving the chains.
So ball now at the 24 of Roosevelt, as the Ranger offense hasn't lost a step with Knutson in there. You know, and talking to Coach Larry Hill and moving Spradling to quarterback after, you know, playing elsewhere on the offense last year and being such a good linebacker. He said, you know, when you've got an athlete that good, you got to find a way to utilize him.
Yeah, and he's such a good leader, an important cog in the team itself, and from leadership, it's just hard not to imagine him commanding respect in that huddle and, you know, leading the offense.
It's De Hoyos again. This time goes left. Rough Rider defenders waiting. Still a couple of yards for De Hoyos. Second and manageable coming up. Well, maybe 6, right around there, depending on the spot of the ball.
Little outside zone play into the boundary. Pretty well defended by Roosevelt. Oftentimes you see teams when they run that outside zone get the edge and there's nobody out there, but good job by Roosevelt running down the line and force them to cut up for a short gain.
Knutson looks like he might have drawn, airs it out. That one nearly picked off, incomplete. He was looking for Brody Day. Looks like it might not matter though, Coach, depending on the flag. I think Roosevelt came off sides, didn't get back in time, and so some yardage for Smithson Valley. Yeah,
not a throw that Ty would have made unless he knew that it was a free play. That was something that a lot of teams do often, is they kind of give a dummy count or go on 2, and if defense is in the neutral zone, that quarterback out of his peripheral see that a flag has been thrown, okay, well, I'll just go for the home run because it doesn't matter anyways if it gets intercepted. And so that was the case there, and so he just threw it up for grabs, see if they could hit a home run, but obviously fell incomplete, and so they'll take the 5 yards.
2nd and 2, ball at the 16. It's De Hoyos behind Knutson. De Hoyos to carry, past the first down marker, so Smithson Valley, a 1st and goal in store for them.
It was a good job by De Hoyos of getting skinny in there. I didn't think there was a hole. There wasn't a huge hole in there. It was a good job by Roosevelt's defense of squeezing down and getting underneath that gap scheme. And De Hoyos kind of got sideways to squirm through that hole. Good run by him. But again, Roosevelt's defense has been put in tough positions these last 2 drives, and they've come out here and stiffened up a little bit, and they're playing well for the positions that they've been put in.
Knutson, another snap. De Hoyos, another handoff. Again, fighting his way forward for yardage inside the 5. They mark it exactly at the 5, maybe just inside. But 2nd and goal coming up for the Rangers.
Number 24.
What a luxury here for Smithson Valley. You after scoring 2 quick touchdowns, you come back with a backup quarterback, if you will, a backup running back, if you will, and you hardly skip a beat against the Roosevelt team that is expected to contend in its district. This Roosevelt team is expected to make some noise in that always tough District 28-6A. De Hoyos coming left, fighting for that end zone. He gets in. Smithson Valley 20-0. De Hoyos gets his first touchdown of 2024. Touched the ball plenty on this drive and then caps it off with a 6.
Yeah, and it looked like a little bit of miscommunication there. De Hoyos started immediately running out to the left like it was an outside zone stretch play, and Knutson kind of turned like it was coming right downhill, and they were lucky that they didn't bobble that exchange there. But it was so well blocked on the edge that De Hoyos still had time to get around the edge and get in for a touchdown to put the Rangers up 3 scores.
Extra point, up and good.
21-0.
We're going to step aside, take a quick break right here on GVTC. You're watching the Thursday night kickoff. Smithson Valley up 21-0 on Roosevelt.
Hello, my name is Chris Box.
And I'm Cassie Box.
We are a proud family-owned and operated local roofing company.
At Lynx Roofing, we believe in building lasting relationships with our customers and community, one roof at a time.
Our team is dedicated to ensuring every project is handled with the utmost of detail and professionalism.
We make roofing simple, reliable, and affordable.
So for all your roofing needs,
Call Lynx Roofing.
Go Rangers!
Back here at Comalander Stadium, it is the GVTC Thursday night kickoff. Smithson Valley all over Roosevelt to start. Brad Sowersby a touchdown to get things going. And then right after that, it was the quarterback, Cade Spradling, who took it in himself. That made it 14-0. And then just before the break, Daniel DeHoyos adding a third touchdown for the Rangers. So 21-0 with 2:39 still left in the first quarter as Trent Amaya kicks off for the third time. That's a touchback. The Rough Riders will get it at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and you mentioned it right before we went to break about, what a luxury for Smithson Valley having some other guys in there, and still having success. But at the same time, it's caused, by a culmination of things, starting at the 40-plus-40-yard line after a turnover, and then the series before that starting almost at the plus 40-yard line after a short punt. And then their worst field position has been their own 40-yard line. And so it gives you a boost of confidence jogging down the field when you have short fields, and that's a testament to your defense and special teams right there.
Speaking of right before the break, I mentioned Roosevelt expected to make some noise in District 28 6A. Old habits die hard. With realignment, it's District 27 6A. So used to 28 for years and years and years, but they are officially in District 27 6A as that pass is incomplete. Marcajani there with the pass. It is the usual district and the way it's been the last couple of years with the Northeast ISD schools in addition to Clark and Brandeis. Marshall no longer in that district. They had been the last couple of years, the Rams moving out. And so that district essentially with that exception holding as it has for the last couple of years.
Yeah, with those Northeast schools, it's always a competitive district. Typically Reagan and Johnson have kind of been on top, but Roosevelt's expected to make some noise this year, and you can see why.
Marcajani, that pass overthrown. PK Miller there in the defensive backfield for Smithson Valley got a hand on it, but he was too tall. It brings up 3rd and 10 for this Roosevelt offense. It's looking to, you mentioned, Coach, they did some things early on that looked pretty good, but looking to get in sync. And now can't help but look when you're on the field there in this situation, can't help but look up at the scoreboard and say, we're down 3 touchdowns, and maybe the natural inclination is to press a little bit. Yeah,
and 3rd and 10 is not what you want to be in versus Smithson Valley. Coach Worstey's going to draw up some blitzes, and that big D line is going to get after it and try to bring as much pressure as he can. You want to stay out of these positions if you can.
3 receivers to our side for Marcajani. He looks that way. Pass. Looked like it was a nicely thrown ball for Elijah Smith. Got it over one defender and in front of another. Although PK Miller was closing. We said Miller's name a whole lot tonight. He has been everywhere, and he's going back to receive this punt with 4th and 10 now coming for Roosevelt.
Yeah, much like a lot of these guys, he's a two-way player. He starts every snap at safety and then will come over and play some receiver, as will his counterpart, number 43, Diego Davila. He starts at safety, and they kind of rotate back and forth on the offensive side of the ball. The middle linebacker, Piegler, you'll see him come in at running back some. So a lot of Rangers playing on both sides of the ball.
There's that punt taken at the 40, across the 50. Good return. Now across the 30 of Roosevelt. Cuts back in. This might be another Smithson Valley 6. It is. Touchdown. What a return for Diego Davila.
We just talked about him, right? I mean, him and PK both at that safety position. They're so good at playing safety, but at the same time, you saw it there, they're also very explosive athletes, and so you want to get them on the offensive side of the ball as much as you can and get their hands on the ball as much as you can and put both of them back there as punt returner. It's like, okay, who do we kick it to? That time they kicked it to Davila, and it was very well blocked. In a special teams touchdown is always big in a momentum booster in the game.
Trenamaya, kick, good. 28-0, 2:08 left in the opening quarter. And how about the total team effort for Smithson Valley so far? The 3 offensive touchdowns. The defense has held Roosevelt to just 1 first down thus far. And then a special teams that just returned a punt for a touchdown, in addition to giving the Ranger great field position for the better part of this first quarter.
Yeah, it's very complementary football, and that's kind of what Smithson Valley has hung their hat on for so many years is Complementary football, not making mistakes, taking care of the little things. Field position matters, kicking game matters, and you see it paying off here. I mean, the defense has caused a turnover. They have just as many turnovers as first downs that they've given up. Their special teams has pinned them deep once, scored a touchdown. Like I said, had a turnover, and then their offense has been very efficient moving the ball down the field with only one penalty on both sides. It's rare. First game of the season, usually there's flags flying everywhere. But very clean game thus far by both sides. But, yeah, very complimentary football right now for Smithson Valley, and they're grinding on all gears right now.
If you're just joining us, first of all, you've missed a lot. But there's still 2:08 to go in the first quarter, and the Rangers on top of Roosevelt 28-0. Brian Hill in the booth alongside Hector Ledesma as the Rangers have come out smoking. Sowersby getting their first touchdown, and then from that quarterback position, Kate Spradling running one in. Then with Spradling and Sowersby taking a breather on their third offensive possession, Smithson Valley able to punch it in thanks to Daniel De Hoyles. And then moments ago, Diego Davila returning a punt, about 55 yards, maybe 60, for a touchdown. So that brings us to 28-0 with 2:08 left on the clock here in the opening quarter of 2024.
And you talked about a complimentary football. There's 4 touchdowns and 4 different guys scoring touchdowns. And so
there you go.
That's how Smithson Valley likes it.
Marcajani shotgun, as has been the case throughout this entire first half when they've been on the field. Hands not much there. That Smithson Valley defense very, very greedy up front. You see some celebration and reactions for not only Justin Roberts, but Colton Hornsby as well.
Yeah, Justin Roberts, he's a force that's going to be reckoned with all season. Just a junior. Started last year as a sophomore and played very, very well. He's still got 2 more years for the Ranger, anchoring that interior defensive line, and you can see why right there, busting through the line and making a tackle for a short game.
Twins to the right side, single receiver to our side, a back behind Marcajani. Gets the rock, past the 35, near the 40. Carry for Yale Lewis, his second of the night. I think they're going to give him right around 5 yards for it, so make that 8. Nice gain. So 3rd and 2, while specifically, spotted it right around the 33-yard line.
Great blocking up front, and good job of hitting the hole, and a good positive gain to get to 3rd and manageable.
2 backs now with Marcajani. 50 seconds and counting left in this opening quarter. Again, Lewis with the carry slipped, and I don't think he got to that first down marker.
Yeah, and he didn't end up making the tackle, but we talked about number 99, Justin Roberts. They came on a stunt. He came free and caused so much pressure that it made running back, try to make a cut to get out of his way. And so even though Justin didn't get the tackle there, he caused the slip by the running back, and he's going to come up just short. And you can see Smithson Valley's defense kind of playing base defense, putting some returners back because, 4th and 1, you never know. Could be an opportune time to fake a punt here.
The ball's at the 34. The Rough Riders do punt it away. Caleb Pegler there applying some pressure. Couldn't quite get there. Ball is down, though, inside the 40 of Smithson Valley, and the Rangers will take over on the field for the first time in what seems to be a little while, because in terms of Spradling, assuming that he comes back in the game with Knutson coming on, and then the special teams touchdown, it's been a little while since we've seen the Smithson Valley usuals, if you will, in terms of what's expected in 2024. But we'll see what the Rangers do here when the second quarter begins. This broadcast brought to you by United Rentals, your partner for a safe, productive, and sustainable work site. Thank you, United Rentals. United Rentals, one of the many great sponsors here of football Thursday night kickoff on GVTC. Rangers Network, the game also streaming on the YouTube channel there, and will be stored there for all to see once this game is over. in a game that I know a lot of Smithson Valley, based on this this start, a lot of Smithson Valley fans are going to want to go back and see. Up top, looking for Brody Day. Knocked out. Fantastic play defensively, because if not for Christian Salazar, this game might be 35 or 34 in the moment 0.
Yeah, it was a good job by Salazar staying at home. Long developing play action fake there by the Smithson Valley offense, and Salazar was not fooled, stayed home at his deep corner spot and went up and played the ball very well without getting pass interference, and broke up, kind of the first deep shot we've seen Smithson Valley take. It's easy to get lulled to sleep with, them running the ball, but he stayed home and played the ball very well.
So 2nd and 10, ball still at the 36 of Smithson Valley. Spradling back in the ball game. Hands, Sowersby coming left. Couple of moves before he cuts it back in. Still on his feet. First down for Brad Sowersby.
Yeah, he's he's not a huge as far as stature goes, but he is a very tough runner. He's a slasher. Does not go down on first contact. You saw that there. Looked like he was wrapped up for about a 6 or 7 yard gain and broke out of there. And now there's a penalty flag on the far side. What would have been a first down run by Sowersby looks like something happened to it. It's going to back the Rangers up.
Well, Malcolm Rogers in on that tackle. Might not count, though, depending on how we view the penalty here and what the outcome is. False start on the Rangers, the call. So it nullifies the run by Sowersby. Fantastic effort. But now back at the 31. I think that's the Rangers' first penalty of the night. Hence of the season. I think
remember they had the long one where the receiver held up there that still ended up being a first down, but it brought it back a little bit. So I think that was just the second.
This is penalty number 2. You're right. Very little has gone wrong for Smithson Valley tonight. Spradling on the run. Sowersby complete. Near first down yardage. Fighting for it. Going to be just a couple of yards short. The Smithson Valley offense continues to roll, with Spradling that time rolling to his right.
Tell you what, really heads up play by Preston Baker. He was one of the other receivers out there on the route. And then when Spradling threw it to the underneath guy, Sowersby, 10 years ago, that's a peel back block and the one that you dream of, and you hear the ooh from the crowd, but that's a penalty now. So he did a great job of going into a basketball shield, setting a pick, and so not getting a blindside block there. So heads up play by Preston Baker.
So 3rd and 2, and I believe this is Smithson Valley's first 3rd down of the night. Spradling, shotgun, hands, Sowersby. First down, Rangers. When in doubt, just give it to number 26.
It's usually a pretty good option. Like I said, over 1,000 yards last year, and you might say, 3rd and short, let's go ahead and let the big quarterback, let's let him run it, which I'm sure they will do plenty throughout the season. But Sowersby is as tough a runner as they come as well, and he's going to go get that first down more times than not.
Excellent point, Coach. You with Spradling back there, kind of tailor-made for when you go jumbo or when you got kind of goal line situation. You don't need to worry about, boy, is my quarterback going to have enough oomph to get in. You literally have a linebacker playing quarterback for you. Spradling airing it out here near the sideline. Complete. Cross the 10, the 5, touchdown Smithson Valley. Brody Day. They'd gone to him a couple of times, couple of catches, and you figured it was only a matter of time. Brody Day saying it's time now. Touchdown Rangers, 34-0.
Yeah, and Smith Valley hustled up to the line and kind of did a quick count. Roosevelt didn't jump, so Smithson Valley looked over to the sideline. Coaches saw that all the Roosevelt defenders were in the box and it was man-to-man outside, so they figured let's take a shot down the field. Good throw by Spradling. Great adjustment by Brody Day. Great catch and a good job of keeping his balance and getting into the end zone.
Good to Maya. Snap, hold, kick, good.
Shout out to the holder there, Bladen Camacho. Not a great snap, kind of went behind his hip, and he still grabbed that thing and got it on the tee, which is difficult to do, especially a left-footed kicker. You don't really have those. You're kind of catching it backwards anyway, so it's not super easy, but great job of getting that ball on the tee and a good concentration by Amaya, still getting it through the uprights.
Going to talk to our producer, Bo. and our director, Michael. Fellas, can we see a replay of that touchdown one more time? Asking because I thought it was really impressive how Brody Day was able to keep his feet and not let his forward momentum take him down after he caught that pass. Watch how difficult this is. He's going full speed, and right there, it's as if he's going down, manages to have the body control to stay on his feet, only had to go a couple more feet, but he was able to stay on his feet for that little distance to give the Rangers 6 more.
Well, when you get an opportunity to score and you know you're only 3 or 4 yards away from the end zone, you are going to fight like heck to stay up, because you know the next day in film your boys are going to give you a hard time if you fall down at the 1 or 2 yard line. So good job by him.
Amaya's kick, it sure is. Amaya's kick goes through the end zone. Rough Riders will start again at their own 25. In a game that has been all Smithson Valley at this point, 35-0, the Rangers coming out. And if there was any question about how good a start they could have coming off a season in which they advanced all the way to the state final, I think they're answering a lot of questions tonight in terms of what kind of a team they're going to be this season. Another great sponsor of this broadcast is the Estates of Zachariah. The Estates of Zachariah Ranch is a beautiful development in 1863. Zachariah in the beautiful hill country, magnificent views, artificial turf, golf greens. You have to go to ZachariahRanch.com and see this amazing opportunity to live in paradise. As Roosevelt goes on 1st and 10, and it's to Yale Lewis. Few carries here in this first half, near first down yard, so second and right around 3 for this Rough Rider offense.
A good tough run by Lewis there, had a little bit of gap. Much like we were talking about with Sowersby, broke the first couple arm tackles and was able to pick up good yardage. I think that's important for Roosevelt to get ahead of the chains, not getting those 3rd and long passing type situations, staying ahead of the chains and making a 2nd and short. Now the whole playbook is available.
Yeah, another thank you to Zachariah, sponsor of the GVTC Thursday night kickoff, and Smithson Valley football on the Rangers network is that one. Handoff gets near first down yardage. Going to be short is Roosevelt, so near the 35-yard line. And that's where the Rough Riders will have 3rd and 1.
A good tackle by the sophomore middle linebacker, Caleb Piegler, coming downhill and stonewalling him short. Again, he's a sophomore, and you'll see him in the backfield as well, but making his presence known as the Mike linebacker as well.
There's the snap. Marcajani. Again, Lewis. And this time, Lewis falling forward. First down for Roosevelt.
Yeah, good job up front by Roosevelt. Smithson Valley brought double-edge pressure. Typically when that happens, all the D linemen kind of slant in, but they were still able to make a crease right down the middle. And a great job of hitting it downhill, knowing that it's 3rd and short. Hey, I don't need to bounce this outside for the big play. We need to pick up a first down, and a big first down for Roosevelt to start their drive and keep their defense off the field a little bit.
Clock nears 8 minutes and counting. We're now under 8 minutes. The Rough Riders, a new set of downs, officially at their own 36-yard line. Marcajani twins to each side, looking to his right, goes that way, looking for Elijah Smith, incomplete. The man whose name we've called over and over and over, P.K. Miller, was there in the area.
Yeah, a little cover 2 right there. Corner squatted, and then safety was playing over the top, so Marcajani tried to throw a whole shot. You know, he's got to put a little something on it to get it to the receiver before the safety can get there. Well played by the Ranger defense, and again, not a great outcome for Marcajani, but again, a smart play, okay? Because if he throws that like you normally do, a 9 route or a go route, that's intercepted by the safety that's playing cover 2 over the top. He knew that it had to be a whole shot or nothing, and he put it only where his guy can get it, and again, incompletion's better than interception.
Again, twins to each side on 2nd and 10. They bring Ja'Cory Carrillo in motion. Elijah Smith, the receiver, nice spin move to stay on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles before he's finally brought down right around the 48-yard line. Liam McGee in on that stop for the Rangers, but it's enough to move the chains for Roosevelt.
Yeah, and that's the second or third time they've thrown a little quick pass out to Elijah Smith, and he's made 2 or 3 people miss. You can see the replay there. Had 2 Rangers there that could have stopped him for a very short gain, but very impressive by him, playmaking ability, making 2 or 3 guys miss and going to get another first down, and that's the second or third time that he's been exciting with the ball in his hands.
So 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Marcagiani, 2 backs, flanked on each side by 1. Fakes the handoff, pass out to the slot. No fooling Smithson Valley. That Ranger defense waiting for it as Carmelo Bias gets the reception, but no positive yardage out of it.
And I'll tell you what, the result, the play was a 1-yard loss, but I was very impressed with Marcagiani's arm talent there. Kind of rode the back a little bit without even popping his feet around, looked like a shortstop turning a double play. Kind of dropped his arm down to a 3/4 angle and fired that thing over there and right on the money. And so, again, talking about the arm talent of him, and with his size, I'm sure he'll be playing on Saturday somewhere.
High praise for the senior quarterback for Roosevelt. 2nd and 11 over the middle. There's Miller again. They were looking for Zaylen Davis Shears, but Smithson Valley cloning Mr. Miller. PK on seemingly every single play, breaking that one up, bringing up 3rd and 11 for Roosevelt.
And it was another good throw. You could see here it's right on the money, but really good defense. Tried to run a skinny post. I mean, that ball is right in the breadbasket. PK times it perfectly, makes contact right when the ball gets there. On a little skinny post. Great defense, but a good throw, just wasn't able to hang on, and now you're in 3rd and long again.
Trips to our side. That's where Marcagiani looks. Miscommunication. He was looking for Elijah Smith. Smith stopped his route short. Marcagiani went long, and so 4th and 11, the Rangers, barring the unexpected, going to get the ball back here.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication there. Again, I think Roosevelt's trying to call those vertical routes on the outside, and Smithson Valley's doing a good job of mixing in cover 2, and so there's really just nowhere to throw. If you throw it up over the top, there's safety sitting there. If you throw underneath, there's a corner, and that's the 2nd or 3rd time that Marcagiani's just had to try to throw it and kind of sail it a little bit in order not to get intercepted.
That punt off. Good pressure for the Rangers. Fielded near the 30. After Ja'Cory Carrillo was able to get that punt off, and the Rangers will start just inside, as mentioned, their 30-yard line, following a nice little return.
And that was Davila.
Diego Davila with the return there.
Catching a punt is one of the scariest things that you can do in football. Let me stare up in the air for a ball while I know 11 guys are sprinting down here to take my head off. And so he does a great job, even though it's only a 5 or 6 yard return. Nothing compared to the touchdown he had last time. But just fielding that ball, not fair catching it, and going to get 5 or 6 yards, where if he let that ball hit, it could roll all the way down inside the 5. Again, the little things, that's a big play for Smithson Valley, so the ball didn't roll all the way down.
Well, the Rough Riders taking some time off the clock on that previous possession. We're at 6:06 as Smithson Valley starts this play. The pass is complete. Big target is Preston Baker. Enough for the first down. Maybe not. Maybe the chains aren't moving. I see the yard marker moving, but the chains should be moving based on that spot.
Looks like we got a Roosevelt guy down, and so that's why the refs were calling an injury timeout. But, Preston Baker, phenomenal blocker as a tight end, but he's also a weapon in the passing game. Gets out there on a little out route, and sophomore Ty Knutson puts it right on the money. And good first down on the first play of the drive.
So making his way off the field for Roosevelt, that's Gavin Villarreal, senior linebacker. And so our best to Gavin, able to walk off on his own power. That's a very good sign. As we've hit the exact midway point of the second quarter, and now the clock continues to run under 6 minutes. Rangers on the move with a 35-0 lead. Spradling in at quarterback. No, Knutson in at quarterback. Forgive me, hands. Nice moves across midfield to Smithson Valley.
It's the sophomore Piegler, starting middle linebacker, much like PK Miller and Davila and Spradling and a bunch of those guys. When you got really good athletes. You want to utilize them in as much ways as possible. And so this is Piegler's first series as a running back. We'll see him throughout the year after playing every snap of Mike linebacker. And we got a all sophomore backfield right now with Knutson at quarterback and Piegler at the running back position.
Tells you a little something about the future here at Smithson Valley as well. Program that not only plays and looks for success now, but also always thinking big picture. Some young talent coming up through the ranks, and the Rangers in good spots, not only this year, but for years to come. I want to tell you about Keith Wing Custom Home Builders, the lighting owners with one-of-a-kind dream homes. Keith Wing had been building homes in the New Braunfels and Smithson areas for over 10 years now. Brian, have you seen any of his homes there?
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, and he's a big member into the New Braunfels Build Association, and his houses are always up there, winning a lot of awards, and so big contributor to the community and builds beautiful homes.
You're making me, I'm not normal, right now I'm not on the market to go look for one, but you're making me want to go check out Keith Wing.
They're worth the looking into, I promise you.
See what he has to offer there. Keith Wing Custom Home Builders, thank you very much. Sponsor of the GVTC Thursday night kickoff right here on Channel 16 as Smithson Valley nears another first down. Near the 35, they're going to mark it at the 37, so 2nd and 2. As Ty Knutson, sophomore quarterback, continues to spell Spradling in a fantastic 1-2 punch at that quarterback position for the Rangers. Twins to our side, 2 backs in the backfield with Knutson. There's Piegler. Looks to cut it up, gets the first down, so inside the Roosevelt 35-yard line.
It's kind of what Smithson Valley does, right? They hand the ball off, get 5-6 yards, throw a little short pass, get 5 or 6 yards, and they kind of, death by 1,000 cuts. And then all of a sudden you saw last series, just when you think, okay, they're probably going to run it again, they get one-on-one coverage, then they're going to take their shots down the field. And so very methodical drive here. I think we're already on play 7 or 8 of the drive, picking up first downs. And so wouldn't be surprised to see a shot now that we're kind of entering inside getting close to the red zone.
All right. His last name is Hill, but let's see if Brian Nostradamus comes through. They keep on this play. It's Knutson coming left. Roosevelt defense expecting it to a certain point. Christian Salazar among the Rough Riders there for the tackle. 2nd and, we'll call it right around, depending on the spot, maybe 4.
Yeah, Knutson, the sophomore, he's kind of known for his elite arm talent, already been offered by UTSA as a coming into his sophomore year, but showing off his athletic ability there, running the ball and picking up a nice 7-yard gain.
I want to get your thoughts on that, Brian, because of the genius that is Larry Hill in this regard. There's a pass again to Preston Baker, just shy of the first down. You've got a quarterback who's just a sophomore who's already been offered by UTSA. I think most coaches, it's fair to say, would say, that's my guy, that's my starting quarterback. Coach Larry Hill looks at things differently. Again, bigger picture, looks at different things, plays chess. And so he's got a kid who's a sophomore who is looking to go to UTSA, or at least has been offered. He's got him on the bench, because of, again, bigger picture and what works best for his team. As Piegler takes the carry, first down yardage past the 20-yard line.
Well, I think that's why you see him on the field, and I think there is no wrong answer. When you have Cade Spradling and you have a guy like Ty Knutson as a sophomore, there is no wrong answer. There is no, which one is better. It's kind of 1A, 1B, and at the same time, your goal and your job as a coach is to get the best players on the field as often as you can. And with Cade playing a bunch of snaps at defense and special teams, everything like that, it kind of opens the door a little bit to give him a breather, and obviously that's a way for a really talented sophomore to also get on the field, because like you said, he's too talented just to sit on the bench and not do anything. But at the same time, Spradling is a different animal as well, and that's why he plays every snap pretty much on both sides of the football.
Piegler the carry there. 2-yard gain, so 2nd and 8 at the 16-yard line.
Under a minute to go here in the half. Smithson Valley's not in a super big hurry, up 35-0, but they'd like to see if they can cap this one off.
43 seconds and counting to be exact. Brody Day on the end arounds. Hurdle, then he goes down. I think Ivan Gaines, standout defensive back for Roosevelt, was kind of expecting the hurdle might come there, and so able to stop Brody Day. Gaines, a young man who comes in with 34 tackles last year, had 3 picks. One of them returned for a touchdown. Timeout taken now with 25 seconds, and the Rangers threatening at the 9-yard line. No, make it the 14-yard line.
Yeah, you're taking a timeout, talk about your options. You know, he still, even after that timeout, they still have 2. So in theory, you know, you can pick up a first down and you still have some timeouts. So it's not like you got to throw it towards the sideline or anything like that. So the whole playbook's open. But then also, you know, this is an opportunity to see if your kicker can make something besides a PAT. So if you don't, you know, if you don't get a first down here or score a touchdown, then imagine you see the field goal unit trot out there and see if they can knock one in, unless it's maybe 4th and 1 or something like that. But yeah, timeout to stop the clock and kind of talk about their best options, and a chance for Roosevelt to kind of gather themselves on defense and see if they can stiffen up inside the red zone.
We get back from the timeout. Brian, got a question for you. You getting hungry?
I'm always hungry.
I am too, and so I'm going to the Branch. Have you eaten at the Branch?
At least twice a week.
Great food, and they love Smithson Valley. Huge supporters of the Rangers. And what I'm going to ask you, I'm going to get your take on what's your favorite thing to get there after this play for the Rangers with 25 seconds to go. Knutson keeps pass intended for Brody Day, incomplete. Okay, so now to the more important pressing matter. Favorite item there at the Branch? I
have never gotten anything that I didn't love, but my go-tos are the Philly cheesesteak. When it's crawfish season, okay, I've been known to get a couple buckets of crawfish. But then, you know, if I'm trying to watch my carb intake, I've been getting the shrimp bruschetta the last couple times, bacon wrapped shrimp. And so, but I've never had anything there that I didn't love. So you're good with anything you choose.
Can't go wrong. A 30-yard field goal attempt for Trent Amaya is good. 38-0 with 13 seconds to go. Smithson Valley adding to their lead. We'll keep it right here with the intermission right around the corner. And so, continuing a conversation, Brian, about the Branch. I'm a fan of the shrimp. Great atmosphere, great staff there as well. Easy to get to off of Highway 46. You can throw a football and hit the Branch from Smithson Valley. And so, fantastic food, fantastic atmosphere, fantastic folks at the Branch.
A lot of good people, very supportive of all of the Smithson Valley community, not just athletics. They do a lot within the community. Great playground out backside. I got 4 crazy boys that, you know, they love going to the Branch so they can go play on that playground back there. So all around, just a great atmosphere and great food.
A great way to describe what's happening here from a Smithson Valley perspective. 38-0. Just adding 3 points on a 30-yard field goal for Trent Amaya over a Roosevelt team that, again, this can't be overstated, is expected to contend in District 27-6A.
Well, and you could see why they're showing flashes of it. They've got a quarterback that has elite arm talent. They've got a few backs that can go. They've got some deep threats and some playmakers at wide receiver. You know, first game of the year, they're eventually going to string it together, and I could see them being a very dangerous team in their district once they kind of put it all together. And it's kind of to be expected. First-year head coach, new offense, new defenses, so they're working out all their kinks, and this will be a great learning experience from them. Any game situation is, but particularly one, you know, against a tough opponent. They're going to go back, they're going to study it, they're going to watch it, they're going to get better from it, and you know, they're only going to get better each game under new coach Darnell Barnes.
13 seconds to go as they take the field for what you would think is the last possession, perhaps even the last play of the first half. Rough Riders down 38-0 to a Smithson Valley team that has come out and picked up where they left off with last year's run to the state final. Hand to Jordan Harris, number 33 now in the ball game. And with that, first half comes to an end. all Smithson Valley. 24 minutes, 38 points. And so the Rough Riders, a lot to talk about in this first half following that touchdown for Brad Sowersby that put the Rangers on top 7-0. Just a couple minutes later, literally, Cade Spradling showing off those linebacker skills, knocking folks over, making it 14-0. Diego Davila getting into the act as a special teams for the Rangers came up with a big play. Punt return there for a touchdown. Then Spradling finding Brody Day. Brody, nice job of some separation there when the ball was in the air. That one of the 5 touchdowns and 38 points that Smithson Valley has put up in this first half. And Brian, as we get set to take the band live here and show the folks at home, show the folks the performance that the Smithson Valley band will put on here in this opening game. I want to get your thoughts first on Roosevelt. If you're Roosevelt, if you're Coach Darnell Barnes and his staff, what do you communicate here to your team in the locker room?
I think, you're not going to go into your kids. They know what the score is. They know how the first half went. So you're not going to go in there and, necessarily give them the talk of the century. But at the same time, you need to go in there and tell them, hey, let's focus on winning the first drive of the second half. And then from there, let's focus on winning the third quarter. Let's focus on winning this half, okay? Let's focus on some small victories so that even if you don't come back in the second half and pull off the miracle coming back from 38 points, there's still wins that you can get along the way that you can build off of and get some momentum going into next week. And I think the most important thing is just keeping the guys focused, keeping them together, and just say, hey, there's nothing we can do about the first half. Let's go out there and treat it like a 0-0, and let's go see if we can win the second half. And then however the chips fall is however the chips fall, but let's play with great effort and go get some minor victories there.
And so on the flip side, you're Smithson Valley and you're Larry Hill and you're looking to nitpick. What do you say to the troops?
Well, I think there's not a whole lot to nitpick from the first half, but I think the message is going to be that, hey, there may be an opportunity for some other guys to get in the second half. I would imagine that the starters would come out and play at least the first series on both sides of the ball just to get into the routine of coming out of a halftime and starters going out there. But we may see some other guys after that first series, depending on how it goes. But I've been in that locker room with Coach Hill at halftime when we were fortunate enough to have a lead. And if anything, he's even more let's take care of business because he knows that this is a time when some people could let their foot off the gas. And so the last thing you want is to go out there and have silly penalties and turnovers and lose your discipline just because you think you've got the game won already. And so I think the key for Smithson Valley is to, much like Roosevelt, treat the second half like it's its own new ball game and see if we can be as crisp as we were in the first half.
Easier said than done because
no doubt.
Kids are kids, right? Heck, adults, you see a 38-0 score and you can't help but get complacent. But as you all know as a coach, always an opportunity to teach, always an opportunity to take something from it. It looks like the Smithson Valley Band is ready to go. And so with that, we're going to bring you their performance live. They worked their tails off as well. So their hard work, we're going to bring it to you right here on GVTC in the Thursday night kickoff. The Smithson Valley Band performing here at halftime.
Dancing to Starships tonight, the Silver Spurs will be performing their traditional high kick routine, played by our amazing Ranger Band. Please put your hands together for your Silver Spurs. to thank American Dance Company, CTX Contracting, Jones Dance Studio, Terry Holmes, Prime Seamless Gutters, Spa Glass, State Farm Jeremy Fuller, Stevens Roofing, Texas House Collective, Jake and Dave, Shooting Oak, and Stony Creek Wedding and Event Center. Thank you for your continued support. Let's hear it one last time for your Silver Spurs. And now, on the sideline, please help me welcome the Smithson Valley Color Guard. The 2024 Color Guard Officers are Spirit Officer, Edson Chavez, Isaiah Hayden, Rebecca Schneider, Lieutenant Kowski, and Mary Grace McCown. Alicia Snyder. And the Ranger Band section of the week is the Flutes. The Ranger Band would like to thank our Ranger sponsors, State Farm, Jeremy Fuller, and Lone Star Heart and Vascular. The voice of the Ranger Band has been Michelle McClanahan.
That was the Smithson Valley Marching Band performing at halftime here of the season opener. The Rangers up 38-0 on Roosevelt at Complementary Stadium to kick off the season right here on GVTC in the Thursday night kickoff. I'll tell you a little bit about another great sponsor of the broadcast here on GVTC. It is Zachariah. The estate at Zachariah Ranch is a beautiful development on 1863 in the beautiful hill country. Magnificent views, artificial turf greens. You have to go check out Zachariah Ranch, ZachariahRanch.com, and see this amazing opportunity to live in paradise. And talking to our producer Bo Wick here, if you can show some pictures there of the beautiful land out there and Zachariah. Just a beautiful space, beautiful scenics, just all around a fantastic place to visit up in that part of the state. Fantastic just area all the way, or any way you slice it, all the way around. And so Zachariah, another great sponsor of the GVTC Thursday night kickoff. Links Roofing is the best. Log on to the website, linksroof.com. Schedule an appointment with them. Check out your roof. All this heat and rain just does wonders to your roof, and Links Roofing can help. Great people at Links as well. The Box family, first class, and you need to make an appointment with them today against Links Roofing. Thank you very much for your sponsorship here of the GVTC Thursday night game of the week.
The national award-winning Roosevelt Patriots
Get set to show you and bring you the Roosevelt marching band as well. They get set to perform. As we do, want to tell you about Advance Auto Parts. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. So thank you to Advance for your support of the GVTC Thursday night kickoff.
Is Elizabeth Zapata.
Roosevelt,
Patriot Teacher of the Week is
the band set to perform. The Rough Riders facing a 38-0 ho here in the season opener, Complementary Stadium. Roosevelt team that, in terms of the outlook by the prognosticators, expected to contend for a playoff spot. That District 27-6A, which includes the Northeast ISD schools, as well as Brandeis and Clark, always tough with Reagan and Johnson in the fold. Brandeis always very competitive as well. But Roosevelt expected to contend alongside Clark, Churchill, Madison for that fourth playoff spot come the home stretch of the season and then into the playoffs. Tonight, though, facing a Smithson Valley team that is in top form already this early in the season. Right now, live performance by the Roosevelt Rough Rider Marching Bands.
Joyce, and Allison Redding. And now, welcome to the field the Roosevelt High School Rough Rider Band as they present their portion of tonight's halftime performance. The award-winning Roosevelt Rough Rider Band is under the direction of band directors Sterling Snyder, Patrick Bowman, George Salinas, and color guard director Lillian Wynn. The drum majors of the TR Band are Gabriel De La Rosa, Mia Torres, Lucius Lozada, and Matthew Cuellar. Band members of the week are Nicholas Kenyon, Andrea Lopez, Elijah Jimenez, and Ava Ruiz. The section of the week is the trumpet section. Way to go. Tonight's program is part of the TR Band's competition show entitled Haunted Vision. Part 1 contains selections of Modest Muskorski's Night on Bald Mountain, featuring flute soloist Abrielle Briseño. Music is arranged for the TR Band by Jair Clarkfeld, with a percussion score by Matt Moore. Roosevelt High School fight song.
That was the Roosevelt Marching Band performing as we took you through both the Smithson Valley and Rough Rider Marching Bands here at halftime of the GVTC Thursday night kickoff. We're going to step aside when we come back. Second half action, Smithson Valley looking to build on a 31-0 lead on Roosevelt on this opening night of 2024. We're right back after this.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo?
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
GVT Thursday night kickoff just in time for the second half kickoff. Smithson Valley booting to Roosevelt inside the 5. Rough Riders taking it right past the 20-yard line, but not much more beyond that, as Jamaris Smothers brings it across to maybe the 21. Coach Brian Hill alongside Hector Ledesma from Comalander Stadium in a game that Smithson Valley totally dominated through the first 24 minutes. 31 are scored here as the Rough Riders get the ball first to start quarter number 3.
Yeah, and as expected, it looks like Smithson Valley starters will come out probably on both sides of the ball. How long they stay in, we'll see. Just kind of see how it goes from there. But, you know, if you're the Rough Riders, you just want to make some progress and get some momentum in this second half and get little victories, and that way you can build on some momentum heading in to next week.
Rough Riders on their ends looking to see what they can also capitalize on. They're checking to see if maybe there was a penalty marker here in the early going. There is not, and so they're going to start at their own 31. Quarterback for Roosevelt is still Shai Markajani. senior who goes 6'6", weighs 195, a big kid. He hands on 1st and 10. Positive yardage to a young man, or by a young man who got plenty of carries in the first half. Yo Lewis takes it right to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Rough Riders.
And I like the way Lewis runs. We mentioned him a few times in the first half, hitting it downhill. The quick hitters, best way to attack Smithson Valley, right downhill at him. And again, a good pickup on 1st down, staying ahead of the chains.
So 2nd and 6. Another handoff. That's with the Ja'Cory Carrillo. I believe that's his first carry of the ball game. Near 1st down yardage. Well, excuse me, near the line of scrimmage, I should say. I think they're going to give him a yard, so now at the 31, brings up 3rd and 5.
And good interior push by the D-line, led by number 99, Justin Roberts, and a whole host of Rangers came and finished it off. So about 3rd and medium here for Roosevelt. And again, I think it's important to come out, get a few first drives, and get a few small victories here.
Marcus Johnny shotgun on 3rd and 5 over the middle, just behind his intended target. It's a miscommunication, or maybe just a throw that he'd like to have back. Either way, pass intended for Zaylin Davis Shears, who got his hands on the ball a couple of times in that first half. Not able to connect there, though. And so the Rough Riders going to punt on their first possession of the second half.
They tried to thread a skinny post in there by the inside receiver. Good underneath coverage by Spradling. And I think that was either Davila or PK on top. Not a whole lot. It was a really tight window to throw into. Not a whole lot of room.
Punt downed it right around the 35.
36-yard line.
And that's where Roosevelt would take over, right around their own 36-yard line.
And I think this might be Smithson Valley's worst starting field position at the 36-yard line, which is obviously a tribute to the special teams and the defense. Still good field position at the 36, but might be their worst one yet.
That says a whole lot and is an indicator of why the score is what it is. Cade Spradling rolling to his right, lets it go. Looking for Brody Wick there near the sideline. Pass incomplete. So Brody, a young man who is in his first year of varsity football, just a junior, good athlete, played some quarterback at the sub-varsity level, but they moved him around because he could do a number of different things. And so the first attempt going his way of his varsity career, just short, but plenty more opportunities. You get the sense coming from Mr. Brody Wick, as Smithson Valley now has 2nd and 10 at their own 36. Sowersby out near side, ridden out of bounds, gained a couple before a couple of Rough Riders were able to converge. Ivan Gaines there and Evan Reina with the stop.
Yeah, really good play by Ivan Gaines. He's another one that Coach Barnes talked about earlier in the week as a playmaker on their defense, and a great job. He had a blocker right in front of him. He was able to get off that block and still make the tackle for only a 1-yard gain. So really good play there by Ivan Gaines.
So only the second 3rd down of the contest for Smithson Valley. This one 3rd and 9, first 3rd and long of the ball game. Spradling takes a hit as he lets it go, affected the throw. He was looking for his big target, a tight end, Preston Baker. Incomplete though as he was rushed. Good pressure by the Rough Riders, and Smithson Valley will punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it was a well-called blitz. Smithson Valley didn't see it on the backside. Spradling was looking out to the field, and number 21, Esteban Ortegon, came off the edge on the backside, hit Spradling right as he threw it. Fortunate that it fell incomplete for the Rangers, but a good defensive stand to start the half by the Rough Riders.
Punt is off, a good one. Takes a Smithson Valley bounce, rolling all the way inside the 10, and that's how you want to do it. Brody Day, first kick of the ball game, making the most of it. And Roosevelt
Down at the 6-yard
going to start this next possession inside its own 10-yard line at the 6 to be exact.
Yeah, and that's what Smithson Valley does on their punts. Kind of the low line drive, get it on the ground end over end to let it roll out. And the purpose is twofold, not to let the returner get his hands on it, but also let that ball get on the ground and roll. And used it to great effect there, pinning the Rough Riders inside the 10-yard line at their 6. So they'll start backed up in the shadow of their own goalpost again.
So Shai Marcajani in shotgun formation, accounting for over 1,000 yards last year as a junior from that quarterback spot. He hands here, a couple of yards up the middle.
He's brought down near the 8-yard line.
7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions through the air for Shai.
Tackled by 33.
Senior who
Jacob
didn't get to throw the ball a whole lot last year because
Justin Roberts also on the stop.
Brennan Carroll,
Gain of 2 yards on the play.
the stud running back for the Rough Riders, graduating. His dad, Matt Carroll, the head coach here at Roosevelt over the last couple of years. And so with Brennan graduating, the offense opening up a little bit more for Shai. 2nd and 8 after that 2-yard game. Rolling to his right is Marcajani. That one picked. And back the other way, it's 6 more for Smithson Valley. Just how they drew it up. Court Hornsby says, look what I got. And then before he knew it, he was in the end zone.
Yeah, Hornsby with the touchdown and give the assist to Julian Kalunga. The corner sat down, read it perfectly on the underneath coverage, went through his hands, but tip drill. And Hornsby was able to catch it in stride. You could see there. And Julian's upset at himself, but at the same time celebrating because they scored a touchdown. But, Hornsby, great awareness off the tip drill. And I was just about to say it, that the only thing Smithson Valley hadn't done in the first half was score on defense. And what do you know, next play, we've got a special teams touchdown, a couple offensive touchdowns, and now we've got a defensive touchdown. And, again, just a complete game thus far by the Rangers.
Yep. Complementary football all the way around. Scored every way possible. Well, they haven't scored on a kickoff return if I'm trying to be greedy here. But
they've only had one opportunity.
And they almost did. And
they almost did. They got up to about the 40, 45-yard line with only one man to beat. So,
absolutely. Fantastic effort tonight for the Rangers. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by United Rentals, Zach Araya Ranch, Lynx Roofing, Keith Wing Customer Homes, the Branch Neighborhood Grill, and Advanced Auto Parts. Thank you to all the great sponsors right here on the GVTC Thursday night kickoff, as Smithson Valley makes it 45-0 with their first defensive touchdown of the night, and thus first defensive touchdown of 2024. Trent Amaya, his legs got to be extremely tired. That one taken by Elijah Smith. Gets across the 10, try to get past the 15. Don't know if he got past it. He might be right at the 15-yard line.
He's brought down near the 15-yard line.
Clock showing 7:51 here in quarter number 3. Smithson Valley about as complete a performance as Coach Larry Hill could have asked for. And, to this extent, this is really impressive, but in terms of Smithson Valley coming in here and doing well, maybe not a surprise. They're 26-4 over the history of the program here at Comalander Stadium, which was also Northeast ISD Stadium beforehand. They're 6-2 against this Roosevelt program. Let's take another look here at that touchdown and the pick 6 that made this game 45-0 by Colton Hornsby. who was able to keep the concentration and keep his eye on the ball after. It was, will be nice, Coach Hall. Let's say it was tipped. It was tipped, you know.
It was tipped.
That's a good way to put the generous way to put it.
He was helping out a friend. But it was great coverage. I mean, there was 5 or 6 guys there. Scramble drill, sticking with their guys, had underneath coverage, had over-the-top coverage. Nowhere, for Marcajani to go with the ball. Looking back, obviously, I bet he wished he'd have thrown it away, lived to fight another day. But, trying to make a play, trying to extend a drive and go make a play. And Julian Kalunga stepped right in front of it, tipped it up in the air to his buddy, and Hornsby was able to catch it on the run and go score a touchdown.
You had a shot of Coach Larry Hill just moments ago. Coach Hill going over 300 career victories at Smithson Valley for his entire career. He's got 311. 311 and 100, his overall record. Enough said. We need to put those two numbers side by side. His 34th season here at Smithson Valley. Inducted into the THSCA Hall of Honor back in 2016. Whistles there. And we got a third down coming up for the Rough Riders. 3rd and long at that.
Back by 95, Caleb Burrow. 17, Colton Hornsby.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum there as far as head coaches go, as far as experience and tenure. Coach Hill being around since the invention of the fire. And Coach Barnes with his first year, but been very impressed with the effort of Roosevelt, even though they're down in this game, the effort of them. And no doubt Coach Barnes will get his first win very soon and improve the program, and he'll have a long coaching career as well.
Well, that was still 2nd and 9 for Roosevelt. Pass incomplete. It was intended for Zaylin Davis Shears. Just a little long, though, was Shai Marcajani's pass. Coach Darnell Barnes, a Roosevelt alum, so this a true dream scenario for him. Graduated in 2004. Assistant with the Rough Riders over the last decade. And when Coach Matt Carroll departed, Coach Barnes getting the promotion, and tonight his first game as a varsity head coach. 3rd and 9, ball at the 16. Whistles. Yep.
Going back to Coach Barnes, was impressed watching him during pregame. He's got a lot of energy. Kids respond well to him. Kids are still playing hard. They're doing a lot of good things, just having a hard time stringing it together, like most do in the first game of the season. And so, that it's a team that's going to improve and keep their spirits up and play with great effort. So looking forward to keeping up with them the rest of the season and see how well they improve.
Following the 5-yard penalty, 3rd and 14. Pass incomplete. Marcajani.
Pass was incomplete, takes us to 4th down.
Looking for Ja'Cory Carrillo.
They tried a little skinny post with the outside receiver there. Great job of Liam McGee, the corner, the junior out there, number 8, kind of getting in front of it, cutting them off without getting pass interference, just kind of getting them stacked and playing the ball just as much as the wide receiver did. So great coverage by him, and it's going to bring up another punt by Roosevelt and what should be really great field position again for Smithson Valley's offense.
Yeah, the Rangers set to get it back with 6:39 on the clock. That punt almost blocked, and we got a penalty flag on the play as Zachario Carrillo finds himself on the turf in the end zone.
Yeah, and definitely running into the kicker, but I'm thinking it's going to be a roughing the kicker, which should give the Rough Riders a first down. Number 17, Hornsby, the guy that got the pick 6, came in there right up the middle, and it's always tough when you think you have a chance to block it. You can see it here. He almost gets it, and if he gets a piece of it and runs into the kicker, it's not a penalty right there. Tries to pull up, but no doubt roughing the kicker. Just unfortunate. You want to block the kick, and then your momentum kind of carries it into the kicker. So Roosevelt gets bailed out a little bit and gets a first down, and so their offense will stay on the field, and the Ranger defense will come out as Smithson Valley starts rotating some guys in there, and so we'll be calling out some new names here pretty quick, as Roosevelt looks like their first team is still out there on the field.
Yeah.
But we got some other guys coming in for Smithson Valley, and so we'll be calling some new guys' names.
Well, we're talking about nitpicking at halftime, something for Coach Larry Hill to kind of get on his guys about there. That penalty there that cost them possession is Ja'Cory Carrillo, who was just back to punt and was on the other end of that penalty that allowed the Rough Riders to keep the ball. Gains 2, so 2nd and 8.
Kind of went to a wildcat. The quarterback, Marcajani, was out there on the wide side of the field, lined up as a wide receiver. And they put Carrillo in that quarterback and did a zone read. Good read by De Hoyos and the safety, Eli Redding, coming downhill and holding them to a minimal gain.
On 2nd and 8, it's Davis Shears going around left, has some room across the 40 to right around the 45.
Number 14, Jalen Davis.
And the first big play, you could say, for this Roosevelt offense tonight.
Line. Result of the play is a first down.
Yeah, looks like you can see here number 4, Carrillo, coming from his receiver spot and kind of cracking the inside box player there. Lucky didn't get called for a blindside block, but it did for sure set the edge. And like you said, most explosive play that Roosevelt has had on offense tonight as they look to get into Smithson Valley territory for the first time.
Brings them to their own 45. Marcajani, a bomb. Overthrown. Looking for Smith.
Yeah, they ran a little switch route, like a scissors cross deal, and the safety that was running with the inside receiver got hung up by the outside receiver on the post, and so I thought Marcajani was going to hit his receiver going down the sideline on the rail, but he instead threw it to the post over the middle. But I think that if he would have seen that and thrown it to his rail down the numbers, that he had a receiver that was pretty open as both the corner and safety kind of ran with that post route. So Rangers getting away with one there, it looks like, on a little bit of a miscommunication in the back end.
2nd and 10 now. Call goes to Yale Lewis, first carry of the second half. Got several carries through the first 24 minutes. This one good for 2.
That was number 21, Tristan Rios, on the tackle. Great tackle right there. Looked like he had some running room if he goes through that tackle, but good job by him closing down on the zone read and taking his guy. You can see him right there. There's a big crease. If he doesn't make that tackle, it's going to be a big game. So good play by Tristan Rios.
3rd and 8. Marcajani. The hand to Davis Shears. Same play as a little while ago, except they came this way this time. Smithson Valley not fooled. And so with that tackle, brings up 4th down, and the Rangers about to get the ball back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a play by Daniel De Hoyos coming from his linebacker spot. You can see it. He's getting blocked, or there's a guy who's assigned to him to come block him. He does a great job of getting over the top, ripping through the block, and still able to make the tackle. That could have been first down yardage right there, but great play by De Hoyos.
Ja'Cory Carrillo back to punt for the second time on that possession. That one out of bounds. Roosevelt able to keep possession following a penalty on Carrillo's first punt attempt. Change of possession coming. Rangers will take over at their own 37-yard line. Up 45-0 with 3:54 to go in the third quarter. Talking a little while ago about how Smithson Valley's done very well at this stadium. Overall, 24-4 at Comalander/Northeast ISD Stadium through the years. 6-2 against this Roosevelt program. They don't have a losing record against any team in Northeast ISD. As Knutson's now in at quarterback, tie with the handoff.
Number 26, Brad Sowersby.
Brad Sowersby's still in there, though. He got the carry. Maybe got back past the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. No, they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and 10. And just continuing that thought, Smithson Valley has a winning record against every single team in the Northeast. Their closest series head-to-head results comes with Johnson. They've only played the Jaguars 3 times, but they hold a 2-1 lead there. Their best mark is they're 6-0 against Lee. Have an advantage against most teams at right around that level, 6-0, 5-1, 8-3, things along those lines. But Lee, the one team in the program they've beaten that many times without having lost to them once.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Roosevelt, I was just going to say, it's interesting. They've played Roosevelt 8 times, none since right around 2010. And it's interesting because Roosevelt won the first time these two teams ever met, and they won the most recent time heading into tonight that they met. Smithson Valley won the 6 in between.
I remember that first one very well. I believe it was in 2000. My uncle was the head coach for Roosevelt at the time, and it was in a playoff game. And Roosevelt definitely got the better of the Rangers that day. I think it was like 63-21 or 63-28. Roosevelt was loaded during that time. But yeah, for a while there in the early to mid 2000s, we were in that Northeast district.
Yes.
When I was playing way back in the day, we were in there. That was before Johnson was a school. They weren't opened yet, so they weren't a part of the district. So it was the 6 NEISD schools and then us and Judson. Talk about a gauntlet of a district, but that's where most of those games come from is during those years, and then anything else outside those years have either been, obviously non-district or maybe a playoff matchup. But yeah, those years were that district from about 04 to about 08, 09, right in there when we were all together, and everybody had good teams during that time, and it was a heck of a district. So.
Rangers punting it away after an incompletion, looking for Brody Wick on that previous 3rd down. And so after the punt, the Rough Riders take over 1st and 10. There's exactly 2:18 remaining in quarter number 3. 45-0 Smithson Valley on top. Rangers coming out from the get-go and just never took their foot off the gas. Didn't punt for the first time until this 2nd quarter. That only their 2nd punt of the night. And so, the game well in hand by the time Roosevelt was able to get something going defensively. Offensively, still struggling to a certain extent. Smithson Valley, even with some backups getting some time, still playing pretty well. 2nd and 3 following the 7-yard pickup for the Rough Riders.
Again, that's been Roosevelt's best play, is just straight downhill. They've had some success getting 5, 6, 7 yards a couple times on that, and so look to see them maybe come back to it and pick up a few first downs and keep this drive moving.
Elijah Smith, screen, enough for a first down near midfield. Rough Riders keep those chains moving, ball at their own 46.
Like we just talked about, the best run play that they've had is right up the middle. This is by far been their most successful pass play, is getting a little quick hitch route out there to Elijah Smith. That's about the 4th or 5th time they've done that. And every time he's broken a tackle or two and picked up a good chunk of yardage, and that time no different, picking up a first down.
Now it's Davis Shears. Zaylen gets to right around midfield off another screen, this time to our side, off the arm of Shai Marcajani.
You had Eli Redding in there from the safety position, Jacob Stover from linebacker, and a bunch of Rangers rallied, including Blayton Camacho. But again, these short little passes and the downhill run seems to be a recipe for Roosevelt right now, moving the ball down the field, keeping the Ranger offense off of the field, and putting together a good drive and some first downs.
So they're going to say he went into Smithson Valley territory, ball at the 49, 2nd and 5, balls on the turf. They fall on it, so Roosevelt keeps possession. Marcajani makes his way up with the ball in hand. But a loss of about 3 or 4, depending on the spot. They're back now at their own 48, so a loss of 3 yards.
Again, that's unfortunate. They had a bunch of strings of positive plays there. pretty decent yardage on first down, picking up 4. So your goal is to get a couple more to make it third manageable. Hopefully not a passing situation where Smithson Valley can drop into coverage and maybe come up with an exotic blitz and the ball on the snap like that going backwards and now getting in a third and long. Change of quarter here, so maybe they come up with a play to hopefully pick up a first down.
So with that, we're going to step aside. When we come back, the fourth quarter of a game that Smithson Valley is totally dominated right here on the GVTC Thursday night kickoff. We are back right after this.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis would carry up the middle. He's brought down near midfield.
Back here at Complementary Stadium, Roosevelt on third down, failing to pick up the first, and so with 4th and 6 now, the Rough Riders going to have to punt it away. As you take a look at Shai Marcajani. Marcajani, decent night. This one, not one of his better moments, though. The pick 6 on the other end. Smithson Valley's Colton Hornsby taking that one in. It's been the only touchdown of the third quarter. Of course, Smithson Valley really hasn't needed it. needed any more of a scoring barrage after they put up 38 in the first half. But that, the lone score of the third period, it came on a defensive touchdown, as you just saw. And the Smithson Valley now set to get back on the field, albeit at their own 2-yard line following the Roosevelt punt.
Yeah, much like we talked about Smithson Valley with their one punt of that end-over-end Ja'Cory Carrillo for Roosevelt with an excellent punt there. Same deal, angle punt it to the sideline, takes a great bounce, goes out the 2. Now Smithson Valley with by far their worst field position coming out on offense.
Knutson still in there at quarterback. The give is to Daniel De Hoyos. Daniel with a decent game. We do have a Roosevelt Rough Rider on the turf, though.
We have a player down.
That's number 44, Gavin Villarreal. Hopefully he's okay.
Another look here at the first play of the drive. De Hoyos driving forward. They're going to give him 5 on that.
Yeah, it was a really good job. Initial contact was only about at the line of scrimmage, maybe 1 yard deep, and those old linemen and him kept pushing his leg forward and kind of rugby scrummed and moved the whole pile another 4 or 5 yards. And doesn't seem like much, but putting yourself ahead of the chains and also, getting away from that goal line is important to try to get a drive started. Looks like he's up and coming off the field, so hopefully he's okay.
Walking gingerly.
Number 44, Gavin Villarreal.
Looks to be an injury that affects his lower body, but we certainly are wishing Gavin Villarreal the best as he makes his way off the field with some assistance, but at the same time able to walk off with some support. As Smithson Valley now faces 2nd and 5, 10:46 remaining in the ball game. Ty Knutson, the quarterback, he's a sophomore. As Coach Brian Hill mentioned in the first half, a young man who's already been offered by UTSA. Bright future. De Hoyos going around left, picks up the first down and more.
Yeah, and he played some running back last year as well, and that's another guy that very athletic, very talented that, hey, we got to get this guy on the field. So you've seen him on defense. You've seen him on all the special teams. You've seen him at running back. Very well blocked. And, we talk about all the time is, just because these are some other guys in there that aren't, quote, starters, these guys, they practice all week. They go through the same scouting reports. And so they're very eager when their time comes, and they're going to go out there and execute and have the expectation to execute just like the first group.
1st and 10 for the Rangers. Handoff is De Hoyos again. Another positive gain, and that's been the key. Every time Smithson Valley's gone to the grounds, you look up and 5-6 yards a pop every single time.
And that's a testament to those 5 guys up front, whether it be the first group, mixing guys in. Roosevelt plays a 3-3 stack, which at times can be very confusing because it kind of goes against a lot of your base rules as far as double teams go and things like that, because you got linebackers stacked right on top of the D linemen. So good job of sorting it all out and communicating up front by those 5 guys.
2nd and 6 at the 35. Another give. Not much on this one. Maybe a yard. Looks like that's what it's going to be. De Hoyos again.
Ball carrier number 22, Daniel De Hoyos.
That'll make it 3rd and 5 as they spot the ball at the 26-yard line of Smithson Valley.
Joshua Gray, 25, Ethan Rocha, also on the stop. 3rd down.
3rd medium
5
here.
yards to go.
See
Ball at the
Smithson Valley puts it in the air up 45-0, or whether they're content with just kind of handing it off. But going quick up to the line.
Here's Knutson's pass. It's intended for Travis Collins. It's incomplete. Travis is senior tight ends. And it brings up 4th and 5.
Little naked bootleg, and it was good coverage by Roosevelt's number 24, Evan Reyna, coming downhill and swatting that ball with that little bootleg out in the flats. If that was caught, then that was probably going to be enough for a first down. So great job by Reyna. You can see it there on the replay, number 24, arriving right on time, not too early, and knocking that ball loose and bringing up a 4th down in a punting situation for Smithson Valley.
Brody Day on to do the honors for the Rangers. Line drive kick goes past midfield and it takes a Ranger bounce. Dies at the Roosevelt 39. That's where the Roosevelt Rough Riders will take over with 8:31 remaining in the ball game.
And it looks like Roosevelt is keeping their starting offense out there, trying to, again, like we talked about at halftime, trying to get at least one score or at least a couple big plays, a couple first downs, extended drive, to be able to build off of something going into next week. So they're keeping their starting guys out there with, the quarterback, Mark Ashani, and, the really good receivers, number 8, Elijah Smith. And I wouldn't be surprised if they start taking some shots down the field to see if they're able to get some points on the board before the end of this game.
Smithson Valley takes a timeout with Roosevelt about ready to get the snap off. Let's take that break with them. We're back after this in the GVTC Thursday night kickoff. Smithson Valley all over Roosevelt, 45-0 in the 4th quarter. Back after this.
Hello, my name is Chris Box.
And I'm Cassie Box.
We are a proud family-owned and operated local roofing company.
At Lynx Roofing, we believe in building lasting relationships with our customers and community, one roof at a time.
Our team is dedicated to ensuring every project is handled with the utmost of detail and professionalism.
We make roofing simple, reliable, and affordable.
So for all your roofing needs,
call Lynx Roofing.
Go Rangers!
We're back here on the GVTC Thursday night kickoff, just in time for a shot at a big play for Roosevelt. Here's what you missed in the break, potentially. Marcajani looking for Elijah Smith just off his fingertips. So it brings up 2nd and 10, still at the 39 for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, it looked like I don't want to say it was a busted play or a freelance, but look, they fake sweep one way, and it was obvious that the offensive linemen thought that it was going to be a sweep down here because they were running upfield trying to get hats on linebackers and safeties. And I feel like I think that even if that ball would have been caught by Elijah Smith, it would have come back because we had a legal man downfield. Because all those old linemen were going out there like it was almost a screen. So
Another incomplete pass, again looking for Elijah Smith, a young man that they go to quite a bit. We've heard his name throughout the night tonight. Elijah, 32 catches last year, 528 yards. He scored 3 touchdowns, and so he returns as a big play option. That one just over his hands, outstretched arms, and so 3rd and 10 coming up at the 39 for these Rough Riders.
Good coverage by Andrew Smith right in the back hip pocket there. Looks like Roosevelt's going to take a timeout and talk about this 3rd down.
Timeout.
It's 3rd and 10 coming up, so making sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, and this time it's Roosevelt's turn to take a timeout. This GVTC Thursday night kickoff broadcast and the broadcast we'll have throughout the year are not possible without our fantastic sponsors. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by United Rentals, Zach Araya Ranch, Lynx Roofing, Keith Wing Custom Homes, The Branch Neighborhood Grill, Advance Auto Parts, and again, the fine folks at Zachariah Ranch. Thank you very much for your support, not only tonight but throughout the entire season. We bring you the GVTC Thursday night kickoff most Thursdays throughout the season, from opening night up until the final night of the regular season. Teams from all across the Hill Country, Comal County, and beyond. Starting off with a game that Smithson Valley is coming out and showing and flexing those muscles on an incomplete pass for Roosevelt, intended for Carmali Bios. And with that, the Rangers set to get the ball back with 8:18 remaining in tonight's ball game.
Yeah, and you could see Smith Valley's defense brought an outside edge blitz. Number 33, Jacob Stover, coming off the edge, unblocked. So the quarterback, Marcajani, had to get rid of it quicker than he wanted to. Receiver hadn't come out of his break, but a smart play by Stover pulling up and not getting a late hit. But blitzer coming free there, forced an early throw.
Punt taking a little bit of a Smithson Valley bounce. Downed at the 36, they're going to call it. That's where the Rangers will take over. 8:06 to go on an opening night in which they have been in total control. Tough one coming up for the Rangers next week. Taking on Brennan. Brennan, by all accounts, one of the 3 best 6A programs in Greater San Antonio when you include Reagan and Steele. And Brennan itself is going to have a second straight big game when they face the Rangers, because they've got Reagan, another one of those big three at the 6A level out of Greater SA. They got Reagan this weekend. Back to pass, Knutson over the middle, complete, just shy of the 45. Ball's loose. Roosevelt saying fumble. Officials are 2. Rough Riders ball.
Yeah, good opening play there. Threw a little hook route to the tight end, caught it, and as he was trying to turn it upfield, fight for that first down, I didn't see what number it was, but I think the safety right there came in. Yeah, safety. Yeah, I think that he was that number 1. Jamari Smothers came in with it, laid a big hit, fumble, and first time we've seen Roosevelt, get excited over a play, and that's good to see. And so they'll start out with good field position inside Ranger territory with the turnover.
And you called it a little while ago, Coach. Roosevelt still has its main guys in there. Jamari Smothers, a guy that is returning. They expect a lot of big things from him. 58 tackles last year, a sack, an interception, and a team that well into this ball game is playing their starters. Speaking of Davis Shears, end arounds, got some good speed, cuts it back as he crosses the 35, still on his feet spinning before a pile of Smithson Valley Rangers brings him down at right around the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and this is still Roosevelt's starting offense as well. You can see, you can see the starting quarterback Marcajani in there. You can see Carrillo. You can see Zaylin Davis Shears. So all those guys, and I can definitely still see the big left tackle, Caden Scott. He's in there, number 75. And so still starters in. Don't blame them. Again, trying to get some momentum and do some good things, get them on film, get game reps so that they can build some confidence going into next week.
Cade Scott, Coach Hill mentioning him in the first half, only a sophomore, but huge size. And a young man who is drawing interest from Power 5 schools already as a sophomore. That pass incomplete. We're coming to this side. The rollout didn't quite work the way they wanted it to, so 2nd and 10 at the 32.
And going back to Caden Scott, you can definitely see why he's getting that interest. He's 6'7", 285, and he looks lean down there. He's still going to put on some muscle and some poundage, only as a sophomore. He's probably going to end up being 6'7", 6'8"-ish, 325, 330 by the time it's all said and done. And so he's a big boy, and he moves really well. So those offers are justified.
Jacori Carrillo, the intended target on that previous play. This one complete. Going to Carmelo Bios. They've gone to him several times over these last couple of quarters. Slow start for Carmelo, but really involved in the action over the last quarter and a half, you could say. Completion there, good for a first down. And Roosevelt easily sustaining its best drive of the night so far, now at the Ranger 21.
Got a good throw under pressure on a slant route there. So a good ball right on the money by Marcajani, and a good patient slant by Carmelo Bios there. And Roosevelt putting together its first drive of the night, almost inside the red zone.
Marcajani, hands up the middle, good gain to right around the 5. It's Yale Lewis.
Ball carrier number 23, Yale Lewis.
A couple of carries in the first half, some here in the second. This one gets them to the Smithson Valley 6, and they're going hurry up, no huddle. There's Marcajani, ball's on the turf. Lewis picks it up, but that Smithson Valley defense, they're ready to pounce.
And again, that's kind of been Roosevelt all night. It just is when they start getting some things together, and again, they have looked good at times. Something like that kind of takes away that momentum a little bit or sets them behind the chains. Who knows how this drive's going to end. They still could end up scoring. But at the same time, after a big run there to get inside, almost inside the 10-yard line, and then kind of take a step back with a fumbled snap there. Again, that's kind of how Roosevelt's night has been. But once they get those things cleaned up, you can tell that they've got the makings and the talent of a team that's going to compete.
So it's 2nd and goal now at the 8. Marcajani, a back to each side. He keeps on the option. And he got back to the line. No, they're going to give him a yard. I was going to say initially he got back to the line of scrimmage, but I think they're going to spot it at the 7.
Yeah, Coach Worsty and his defensive staff drawing up a good blitz there, bringing some pressure from the field, making everybody slant under. Good job right there by number 41, the defensive end, Adam De Hoyos, forcing that ball to get to the outside to his spilling linebackers, and they arrived and made a tackle there, bringing up a third down from all the way from the 7-8 yard line when they had 1st and goal almost from the 5 after that one run.
We're under 5 minutes to go in the ball game, 4:52 and counting. Marcajani keeps, throws, tipped, almost picked. Diving effort for Philip Smith. Would have been a tough play, almost impossible play. But it was one of those where the ball's tipped and you go, uh-oh, someone's got a shot if someone's in the right position, or someone happens to be in the right position because it's tipped. Luckily for Roosevelt, it fell incomplete.
Yeah, you can see De Hoyos coming off the edge, getting some pressure. Great job by Cash Davis, number 34, getting up, tipping that ball at the line of scrimmage. And you're right, Philip Smith, if he was able to get there, then there was nobody there. He could still be running, but brings up a 4th and goal from the 8-yard line for Roosevelt.
So down 45-0, no question. Roosevelt's going. Marcajani takes the snap, looking to his right, goes that way, slant, almost a touchdown through the hands of Davis Shears. I believe that's number 14 it is.
And I'll tell you what, it was a really good route by him. He kind of did a stutter step, pretended like he was running the fade, and then broke it off on a slant, and you couldn't throw a better ball if you're Marcajani. You could see it right there, a little stutter, right in behind the linebacker's head, and he put it right on the money, and Davis Shears just unable to come up with it. And again, kind of what we've been talking about Roosevelt, they put a good drive together, get down to the 5-yard line, have 1st and goal at the 5, then kind of take a step back with that bobbled snap, losing a couple yards, and they can't recover from there. But good job by those guys, the Smithson Valley defense, of stiffening up inside the red zone and giving the ball back to the offense, keeping the shutout on the board.
Not only was that pass where it needed to be, it was a dart, huh?
It was a dart.
Had a hot sauce on it. Kate Spradley back in the ball game for Smithson Valley.
Ball carrier number 27.
No, it's 16.
Yeah.
My
Carvajal.
apologies.
Carvajal.
16, not 18. Cisco Carvajal. I was going to say Kate Spradley, but the way in which this night's been going, that wouldn't surprise me. But it is Cisco Carvajal. My apologies. 16, not 18 in the quarterback. Lincoln McKeon getting his first carry of the ball game as he now enters, and we go near 4 minutes to go in the ball game with the clock at 4:02, 4:01, and exactly 4 minutes now.
Good blocking up front and a good first down play to kind of get out of the shadow of your own goalpost.
Cisco, another handoff. Again, it's Lincoln McKeon. Lincoln gets across to 20.
Ball carrier number 27, Lincoln McKeon.
Enough for a first down, and the Rangers,
55.
as they empty the bench and continue to empty the bench,
Wait,
have been
third
doing
down,
so
third
since
down.
early in the second half, picking up first downs while doing it. Talking about that tough game at Brennan next week for Smithson Valley. After that, it's another District 27 6A program when they face Madison. Then after that ball game, the Rangers get into district play in that new division that is for those of us who observe high school football, it's a fantastic district.
Yeah.
For the teams in it.
It's definitely the best district in 5A Division I Region 4, and it may be top 2 or 3 toughest districts in the state of Texas in 5A. And Smithson Valley starts off first 3 games of district all with, potential other playoff teams. So Smithson Valley's first 6 games, with Roosevelt and then a really tough Brennan team, a really tough Madison team. And then I believe they open district play with Bernie Champion, who is a potential playoff team, Piper, which is a potential playoff team, and then Wagner, who's a potential playoff team. And so, not a whole lot of time for them to ease into their schedule. Their first 6 games are as tough as anybody's schedule in the San Antonio area for sure.
Yep, Champion, Piper, a bye, then Wagner before Seguin, New Braunfels, MacArthur. And so very, very tough schedule for the Rangers.
McKeon with the carry.
Yeah, playing all 3 6A opponents in non-district to kind of get ready for that tough gauntlet that you got in district play. Like you said, Brennan next week. They're playing Reagan on Saturday too. Probably top 3 teams in the area in 6A. Be interesting to see how that one goes. But Brennan's always tough. I think they went 3 rounds deep last year before losing to Lake Travis, I believe. Gave them a good ball game, and so Brennan's always tough and well coached. And so it'll be a tough test for the Rangers next week.
We're under 2 minutes to go. 151, 150 when the snap is off. Coming around right side across the 40, across the 45 and near midfield. It's Owen.
Wick. It's Brody.
That's Brody Wick with the carry. I got lost for a second there in terms of whether that was a 19 or a 9. But Brody Wick's first touch of the ball game results in a first down for the Rangers. Smithson Valley at its own 47. And after the Rangers had tried to get Brody the ball in a number of different ways, handing it off to Brody, who comes around right and gets to the 47-yard line for a 1st and 10.
Yeah, great run by him, reading his blocks, getting up underneath it, then back outside. I didn't see the number of his lead blocker, but somebody had a really good lead block for him all the way till the end of the play. Didn't see his number, but successful play for Smithson Valley to get a first down.
They go back to Lincoln McKeon. Not much once he got to the line of scrimmage. As we now go toward a minute to go in the ball game. Under a minute now with the clock running. And Smithson Valley closing in on an impressive opening night victory. I said it several times in the first half, but it should not be discounted against a very good Roosevelt team that's expected to make some noise. Another look here at the Brody Wick run coming around right side. You see him coming from, that's the previous play. This is the play that just happened a little while ago to Lincoln McKeon. And so under 30 seconds to go, 25-24 This time they try to get it to McKeon via pass.
Pass was incomplete.
Just past his fingertips, outside the reach of his fingertips. And so it stops the clock with 22 seconds to go, and Smithson Valley facing a 3rd and 10, their own 47.
Yeah, I would expect maybe handoff, and that should be the last play of the game. But again, even though Roosevelt is, obviously down a number of points, I've been impressed with their effort and the way that they've continued to fight. Got some other guys in there now, but their starters played a long time. Didn't see them ever kind of slump their shoulders or start bickering and arguing and stuff like that. It's a mark of Roosevelt all the way back to when my Uncle Glenn coached there. They're never going to give up, and they play with great effort all the way till the end, and that play should bring us to the end of the ball game.
As a matter of fact, Glenn Hill was there when current Roosevelt head coach Darnell Barnes was a player at Roosevelt. He played for Glenn Hill. Clock at 2, clock at 1.
State champs.
There we go. Ball game. Smithson Valley, a 45-0 winner against Roosevelt. The Rangers coming out and flexing that muscle early, and then did not let off the gas up until the game was well in hand, and some reserves got a chance to play. Brad Sowersby started everything off. A touchdown early on within the first 2.5 minutes of the ball game. That, after the extra point, made it 7-0. Then Cade Spradling, the young man who played all over the field last year, including on defense at linebacker, and is a linebacker again this year. Starting quarterback, scored his first touchdown of the ball game, the second for the Rangers. That made it 14-0. Then the punt team got into the action. Special team score for Diego Davila on that punt return. And Smithson Valley, it turned out, was just getting started because they took a 38-0 lead into the half. This another one of those first half touchdowns. Brody Day, returning leading receiver for Smithson Valley, able to keep his feet after creating the separation on the fly route. 38-0 and the intermission, and then in the second half, the Smithson Valley D got into the act. Defensive back Colton Hornsby, Plains linebacker as well, coming up with the pick 6 off the tip. And you add it all up, 45-0 Smithson Valley, impressive all the way around. And Coach, just some thoughts here on a game in which Smithson Valley dominated from the get-go, but I know you've been very complimentary of Roosevelt as well, but just some final analysis as this game is now in the bag for the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Well, starting out on the Roosevelt side, it's obvious that they've got some talent. Their schemes are well thought out. They're well coached. They just had some things that didn't go their way tonight, kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Once they get that cleaned up, this will be a great teaching tape for them. And they'll kind of realize how close they were on a lot of things, from either making a play themselves or stopping a big play that Smithson Valley had. So I think that Coach Barnes will get those guys rolling, and they'll be hitting their stride by the time district starts, and I expect to see them compete. On the Smithson Valley side, not a whole lot to pick on. There were some penalties here and there, but those are going to happen. Overall, I felt like it was a very complete game, very complimentary game. The offense always had short fields because of the defense and special teams. And when you can score in other ways besides just offense, which Smithson Valley did tonight on a punt return and a defensive pick 6, then you're going to be very tough to beat. So very impressed with Smithson Valley in their opening ball game.
As we say goodnight, a score of interest here for Smithson Valley fans. Many of you know Piper and Bernie opening the ball game, opening the season against each other in a highly anticipated ball game. Right now, in the fourth quarter, Bernie leads that contest 28-25. So Bernie on the verge of knocking off Piper if the score would hold. 28-25, that score in the fourth quarter. But tonight, here at Comalander Stadium against Roosevelt, all Smithson Valley, 45-0. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by United Rentals, Zachariah Ranch, Lynx Roofing, Keith Wing Custom Homes, The Branch Neighborhood Grill, and Advanced Auto Parts. Thank you for your support, not only tonight but throughout the season, right here on the GVTC Thursday night kickoff, and a broadcast that can also be seen via YouTube on the GVTC YouTube channel and is also part of the Rangers Network. For Coach Brian Hill and the wonderful folks at Wick Productions, we say goodnight from Comalander Stadium. The Rangers, ever impressive in their opening victory, 45-0, picking up right where they left off from last year's state final appearance We'll see you next week right here on the GVTC Game of the Week. Until then, have a fantastic week, everybody, and have a great West of your weekend.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hello, my name is Chris Box.
And I'm Cassie Box.
We are a proud family-owned and operated local roofing company.
At Lynx Roofing, we believe in building lasting relationships with our customers and community, one roof at a time.
Our team is dedicated to ensuring every project is handled with the utmost of detail and professionalism.
We make roofing simple, reliable, and affordable.
So for all your roofing needs,
Call Lynx Roofing.
Go Rangers!
So, where are we eating?
With GVTC's blazing fast fiber speeds,
3.5 stars, not a chance we try anything under 4.
you might feel like other things in life are taking a little longer than before.
Ooh, what sounds better, La Fiesta or Dumpling Palace?
Ooh, Dumpling Palace.
Ew, gross.
We may not be able to speed up your dinner decisions, but we can provide fast and consistent premium Wi-Fi to search all the available options. Enjoy the GVTC difference, and please be patient with things that may have seemed to...
Wait, what are we gonna watch?
Slow down a bit. GVTC, connecting you.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?